Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, welcome back. Well, as you saw, the trial is over. The Derek Chauvin murder trial. Guilty on all counts. My question is now, the officer will probably appeal, and we'll see how that goes through the years. But the question is now, what happens from here? And I'm going to give you my ideas, what I think or I know is going to happen. He said, well, John, how could you possibly know? You see into the future? No, I don't, but I know people. And how do I know people? Because I am one. And I know enough about how things are perceived in low-income areas. My store was in a low-income area in a city in upstate New York here for 23 years. Seen a lot of misery, a lot of self-destructive behavior, and just a lot of crap in general. And I know several people that are police officers. Most of them retired now. And they're probably happy to get out of the business. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen now. The lower income minority communities, lower income including all whites, but especially the non-white communities, the lower income, are going to be a disaster. A disaster. I saw a recent poll that said 80% of black adults in these large cities want more police, not less. More. Okay. Why? Because crime is everywhere. And they don't feel safe. So what's going to happen? Well, you're going to get guys dropping out of the academy and women just leaving the academy, especially the ones that are first starting now and going, you know what, F this. I'm not doing this anymore. And then the quality of people that you do get that will go into the academy is going to be lower. Let's just tell the truth here. When you have less people involved, the quality goes down. It's just a statistical fact. What about the current law enforcement officers, especially in these larger cities? You going to get out of your squad car? Nope. Not at all. You get a call that some guy's beating the crap out of his girlfriend? You're not getting out. You'll be driving along and you look corner of your eye down an alley and some guy getting his ass kicked by 2 or 3 guys? You're not going to stop. You're going to keep on driving. I'm not exposing myself. I got 10 years to go before I get my pension. Forget it. I got too much time in now to leave. So I'm just going to slide by. Does that make them? Well, then they should be police officers then. Well, no. They're just human. They're not going to expose themselves to this. Let's tell the truth here. Was George Floyd murdered? Come on. You know what the big mistake was? The biggest mistake of the officer on the right here? If you watch the whole video, not just the part that they want to show you on the mainstream media, and I watched the whole video from the time that George Floyd was confronted in front of the store up till when he was unresponsive. And a whole lot happened. They had him in the squad car, cuffed in the back. He was screaming and freaking out. He couldn't breathe, and he was claustrophobic and blah, blah, blah. And so they took him out of the car at his request and laid him on the ground. And that was the fatal mistake. Actually, for both. Now, I talk to a lot of police officers. They say people do that all the time when they're arrested. They fake all these illnesses, figuring you'll bring them to the hospital, and then they'll be there overnight, and they'll just get an appearance ticket. Well, maybe that's true. But he didn't follow procedure. The procedure was once you get him secure in the car, you don't take him out until you get to the station or the hospital. But I digress. That error in judgment, in a weird way, that humanitarian gesture, because he was taking him out at his request, cost both their lives. One is dead, and one's life essentially is over. Actually, it might even be worse. Knowing your life is over before it's over is not so hot either. So I digress. Let's talk about what's going to happen. Crime is going to skyrocket in these low-income minority communities. Guarantee you, police officers, law enforcement will ignore almost everything now, unless there's blood on the street or there's a knife or a gun involved, and it's already happened. You're not going to get any preventive policing anymore. They're not going to drive around neighborhoods looking for problems to help in the community. They're not going to drive around to keep that community safe anymore. These morons that protested all over Minneapolis have screwed themselves. Be interesting to see of all the protesters in Minneapolis in the last few weeks and months, how many of them actually live in these communities? I bet you it's a small amount. I'll bet you it's a small amount. And then as law and order gets trashed, as crime goes skyrocketing up, people are going to start to freak out. This is very similar to the situation that was in New York City prior to Rudy Giuliani. Now, I have some issues with Rudy Giuliani too, but that's a different issue, what he did after he was mayor. I'm talking about when he was mayor. Michael Bloomberg too did fairly well, even though I can't stand him, and I think he's just a grifter with a crap load of money. What happened? Times Square was a disaster. I mean, documentaries and movies were filmed down there to show the dystopian nature of it all. And now it's coming to a city near you. These men and women in law enforcement will not get out of their cars now. They won't do it. They'd rather be reprimanded by their sergeant or their captain or whoever the precinct head is than to put themselves at risk again. Because in a lot of ways, Officer Chauvin was martyred. You're going to say, oh, is that possible, John? No, he was a dick. He was a dick after the fact, and he did a guy a favor by letting him out of the car, instead of following the strict procedure that he was taught. Being a dick was by being nice to him. Cost him his life, maybe. George Floyd might be alive if he hadn't helped the guy out as he requested to put him on the ground so he couldn't breathe. Those of you that were watched the judgment didn't see the entire video. George Floyd is a hell of a lot bigger than this guy. A lot bigger. And now one is dead, and one is probably going to spend the vast majority, if not all, the rest of his life in jail. And God knows, I don't know if he's married, has children, whatever it is, those lives are all destroyed as well. This is a lose, lose, lose deal. George Floyd lost, Officer Chauvin lost, and now hundreds of thousands of low-income people, minorities mostly, will have just a disastrous time. The crime is going to run rampant. The bodies are going to start piling up, believe me, because no one in law enforcement is going to say, I'm not sticking my neck out. I got a wife and 2 kids. Or I'm a female officer. I've got 2 kids to support, and I'm a single mother. I'm not going to go to jail. Let them kill each other. I can't stop it, because when I do try to do the right thing, I'll end up spending my life in prison. Or worse. That's exactly what's going to happen in Times Square in New York City before Giuliani got there. And then this will go on. 1, 2, 3 years, maybe even 4. Before finally the normal people, the conservative people, and the moderate people that aren't progressive left-wing nut bars finally say, as Ronald Reagan used to call them, the silent majority, say enough. That's why Giuliani was elected. You don't get a Republican get elected to New York City mayor. What are you, stupid? But it gets so bad that they don't know what to do. And by then, in all these cities, when they finally wake up, all these people, these politicians are screaming for defund the police and get rid of the police, are the same hypocrites that have either taxpayer paid or private security guarding them. They want their protection. They just don't give a good damn about yours. I hope I'm wrong, but unfortunately, I know that I'm right. Why? Because it's happened so many times in the past. History repeats itself over and over and over. So celebrate all you want to about the all counts guilty. I believe it's an old Aztec saying that says, when the gods want to punish us, they answer our prayers. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.